Okay, we are ITS 128, and today is November 21st, and the video that I made in yesterday's class showed how to do assignment 12, but at that time I did not have the assignment 12 posted. So I've posted assignment 12 now, and I'd like to go through that, and I can briefly go through. I can start the assignment, and you'll see that once I start it, that it's pretty easy just to continue doing the same thing. And then you'll be able to watch yesterday's video to see how I go through the whole thing, because I was able to do the whole thing in yesterday's video. I haven't posted it up yet because I had a bunch of other videos from another class that I had to post up right away. There's some deadlines in one of my other classes. So anyway, so I'm going to turn on my main screen here. And see, there's a way that I can, oh, here it is. All right, so here's assignment 12. I just posted it. And so it's a multiple forms project. Okay, so so we're back to assignment 3 through 7. You recall it's got these division tests, addition tests, and so on. And chapter 9, it covers classes. And you will be making additional class files probably, well, I guess you will in 148. You certainly will in 228. You should in 228. But class files that have code in it. But what you are going to do a lot of is creating applications that have multiple forms, and each form is its own class. So we actually, so I think that a forms example, a multiple forms assignment, is a better assignment to get you used to the idea of classes than if I were to actually have you, you know, consolidate your code into another file and then define a class and then refer to the class in your other code. We'll get to that later. But so assignment 12 is this. In assignments 3 through 7, you created programs to demonstrate demonstrate how differences in number types can affect division, addition, and the precision of computations using, for example, the third one was testing using double precision operands versus decimal precision. In those assignments, all of your programs consisted of a single form. Each form contained buttons or controls that executed the methods. Now, in this assignment, I want you to separate the 3 demonstrations into 3 different forms, okay? And I want you to have a main form. The main form will contain buttons that will open up each of the other forms. And when you're through, when you're done writing your program, you should have screens that look something like this. There's a main form on the left here, and that comes up first, and then you can click the first button, and the divisions test will come up. It shows right here on the right, and so you recognize this. This is you enter in a maximum discount percent, a markup percent, and a factor, and you execute, and it does the calculation using double type variables, and then it does the calculations again using integer type variables. And you see in this example, the 2 calculations come out differently. The reason I'm pointing that out so clearly is that in the end here, I want you not only to complete, you know, a different screen for each button, but also when you execute this thing, I would like you to in your 1-minute video, I'd like you to show me a divisions test where there's no difference in the results, and then a divisions test where there is a difference. Okay, in this particular example, there is a difference, but then I want you to find one where there's no difference. The idea here is that you're doing the same calculations in both cases, but you're using different variable types to store the numbers. And in this example here, when you use an integer variable to do a division type calculation, oftentimes the remainder gets truncated, or gets truncated off, and you end up with numbers that are different than what they should be if you were to use double precision numbers. And then I want you to do an additions test showing a difference, and showing no difference, and then a double precision, decimal precision test showing difference and no difference. Now, I haven't actually done these. I didn't try this one before I gave the assignment. It's possible that you put in numbers and there's always going to be a difference. But before this assignment is due, we will have tried that, and in fact, maybe we'll try it. Try it today, or Monday. Or when, that's right. We're going to have this class before I have the other class, so it's kind of like we're going to get a double class here. And then finally I'd like you to have so to do the 3 tests, and here for example, this additions test, if you put in 1 and 10, you get a difference. But it looks like if you put in point 1 and 100, it does it. The second one, there is no difference. If you put in 0.1 and 100, you get no difference. No, this would be 0.1 and 100 or something. 0.1 and 1,000, I think. Anyway, so that's that example. And then for this one, I think you'd have to put in very small numbers to get them to be the same. Very small numbers. We'll see. And then I'd like you to have a button that just pops up an older assignment. It doesn't need to be assignment 7, assignment 6, or assignment 5. It just pops up an older assignment. The way I did this assignment is I started with my assignment 6, and then I made these other forms, this one, and this one, and this one. And then I changed it so this form here, this form with 5 buttons on it, that this was the main form, and this other form, which was the main form, is just a form that is not displayed unless you click on a button here. All right, so that's the assignment, and I can show you how to get started here. And so I don't have to take up all the class today, and the video is a pretty good video. And the only difference between the video and today is that I didn't have this here, and I didn't explain exactly what you had to do here. But I actually started with my assignment 6. Let me bring that up. And I am recording. So let me bring up let's go to my Dropbox. And I started with my assignment 6 right here. So let me put that on the desktop. And let me open it up, extract all. And let me open it up. All right, when we run this, my assignment 6, it looks like this. And execute test 1, execute test 1 this way, execute test 2, and so on. And so I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with this code here. And I'm going to start by making a new form. I'll just make a new form over here. So let me right click, new, add, new item. Actually, I can go right down here and add Windows form. And this window comes up, and the form is already selected. And since we have multiple forms, just like when we have other multiple controls on a form, there's a nice convention that you can use, and it's not the convention that's in the book, but takes advantage of IntelliSense in Visual Studio. And so I like to name my forms FRM and then something, and I'm going to call this one the main form, FRM main form, enter, add. And we get a new form, and over here on the right, we see that we have, now we have a second form. We've got the main form is this one, and there is a view code. This is the form1.cs file, and the form design file is form1.cs design here, the design part, this and this. And then and then this is the one we just added, and there's a view code. There's a code, a .cs file that goes along with that. You notice that the namespace here is the same as the namespace here. Okay, that's how it connects up. Okay, so is the stuff up here. So so this is the new form, and so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to put the buttons on here. Might as well put the buttons on. And so I'm going to put what is that? Common controls. I'm going to put a button to execute the divisions test, a button to execute the additions test, a button to execute the test number 3, and a button for my legacy one that's form1.cs, and an exit button. So button 1, let's have that say test 1, and let's have button 2 say test 2, and let's have button 3 say test 3, and let's have button 4 say legacy, assignment 6, my assignment 6, and this one can say exit. And let's make these all the same size, just because. And it doesn't have to be any bigger than that. I'd actually like you to put up at the top here, Richard's assignment 12 or some such thing, and maybe a label on there. But anyway, so we have so that's our form. It's a great form. Now let's make the other forms. Let's make a form. Let's add a form for, let's see, add form for the test 1. Let's call it FRM test 1 divisions. Happy Thanksgiving. And let's make another one. Add Windows form. Let's call this one FRM test 2 additions. And we can make another one that says FRM test 3 precision tests, whatever, precisions, whatever. And that's good. I'm going to rename form 1 here. I'm going to rename that. No, I'll do that later. All right. And so all right, let's start populating these forms. So let me go to the first one, which is the divisions test. That's test 1. And let me go to the form1.cs design. And this here, let's copy over the divisions. Let's just copy it over. So it's going to be this stuff. And I'm going to copy an execute button. Hold the shift key down and click that. And I'll copy the output. It goes here. I want to copy the exit. Okay, I'm going to copy these things. So I'm going to do Control C. And then I'm going to go back to my, this is the divisions test. And I'm going to do Control V. And there it all is. Okay. Let's make it look nice. This over here. Put an execute down here maybe. Put an exit here maybe. Put the output goes here. And this doesn't need to be so big. All right. That's great. Now you notice this, the names are just the same names as they were on the other form. It didn't change the names or anything because it's on a different form. It's in a different scope. So it just copied over the same names. This button here, the name of it is execute checkboxes. I'm going to probably change the name of that button to just that BTN execute. How about just BTN execute? And the exit's fine. All right, so so let's get this form to work while we're at it. So I'm going to double click on execute here, and this is the event handler for when you click on it. And so now I'm just going to go over to the form1.cs, the code, and I'm going to copy the code. Now, you recall I have different versions of the same code of that first divisions test because you know, I had radio buttons do it, and then I had checkboxes do it, and the last one was this select the list box. So that's probably my latest and greatest code. That looks like this code here. So I'm going to grab that. It's test 1, so I'm just going to grab underneath case 0. Remember, I had these two. I put them both in curly brackets so I could have different scopes using the same variable names. So that's right, goes to right here. And so I'm going to do Control C to copy. And then I'm going to go over to divisions and double click on this execute again. And right here, I'm going to do Control V to paste. Let's see, markup percent. It's got a red squiggly. Markup discount. Oh, those are in the text boxes. I got to grab the text boxes. Let's see. Let's go back to form1.cs. Let's go up here, and oh, look up here. This grabs. Here, I got to grab this here. Copy. And go back over to here, divisions test. And right up above, it's got to be visible in both of these little scopes here. So I'm going to put it right here. Control V to paste. Now the red squigglies go away. All right, this thing is ready to test, except for one problem is how do I get to it? Because when this thing comes up, it's this screen that's going to appear. So I have to change it. So instead of starting up with this form, I want it to start up with my other form, with my main form.cs. So the way I do that, I have to do one more thing also. Oh, so anyway, the way I do that is I go over here in the program.cs file, click on that, and right over here, there's not much code here, but what you do see here is this is where it starts up. This is where it starts up the first form. And so I'm going to change this to FRM, FRM main form. Okay, so now it's going to start up main form instead. And the other thing I've got to do is over on main form here. Where's main form? I need to double click on this to make the other form pop up. So let me double click here. And the way to do that is I have to instantiate the form. And so I'm going to create a new object of the type form that I want to pop up. And so I have to like declare a variable, and I set it equal to new and so on, and then I'm able to, then it's got properties, it's got methods, and one of the methods is to open up the dialog box. So so I'm going to create a new variable, and it's going to be of type FRM main, no, not main form, type FRM test divisions, and I'm going to name it test1, and that's going to equal a new form test divisions. Okay, so that creates a new test1 object, which is the form I want to pop up, and then I just say test1 dot show dialog, like that, and that pops it up. Okay, so let's just try it. Run. This thing pops up. I'm able to click on test1. This thing pops up. I'm able to do some calculations. And does exit work? No, it doesn't. All right. So anyway, that works. That doesn't work either. So let's do some housekeeping here. Where is that? Divisions. Exit doesn't work. This close. And what else? Oh, when it displayed out the, when it, I want to make it so when the thing, the load handler erases this to make it blank. So to put something in the load handler, you can just double click out here, double click, and click the load handler, and I want to do LBL output dot text equals nothing. All right, so I think that should work now. Let's see. Test1, execute, 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 exit. All right, good, it works. That doesn't work yet either. Let me, okay, so why don't I finish hooking up main form here? So double click on this, and that's gonna FRM, is that the only, don't I have the other ones? FRM, test additions, test2, new FRM test additions, equals new FRM test additions, test2, test2 dot show, what is going, my keys are not, test2 oh, no wonder I named it test1. That's why it's not working. Okay, test2 dot show dialog. All right, that's going to do test2. Oops. and test 3, and assignment 6, and exit. This close. This is going to be FRM. I'm going to rename this form over here. Rename FRM assignment 6. Wait a second, what's going on? I don't want to do that. Oh, I forgot, because I would have gotten rid of CS. Okay, let me do this again. Rename FRM assignment 6. Is that going to work? Yes. Okay, good. That worked. And so now, oh, here. This is button 4. Oh, I didn't name the buttons. Darn it. Ugh, I should have named the buttons. Okay, you got to name the buttons. This is FRM assignment 4, assignment 6, test 4 equals new FRM assignment 6. Test 4, show dialog. And this is FRM test 3 precisions, test 3 equals new FRM test 3 precisions. Test 3 show dialog. All right, so that takes care of this. And so let's populate the other forms. Let's see, test divisions, that's the first one. Test additions is the second one. I'm going to grab out, for test additions, I'm going to grab this plus I'll grab this and this, copy, and I'm going to put that over, well, I might as well just copy this too. Copy, copy. So I'm going to copy all this, Control C, and we're on additions. Paste. So I need this one here, and I need an execute and an exit, and output goes here. And this one, I was going to change the name of it to, instead of execute checkbox, let's just change it to execute. I'll show you this. I showed you this in the other video, and then I think I'll probably wrap this up because the rest of it is pretty straightforward. But one thing that almost everybody forgot to do in their assignment 7 was they did not put in a thing here for the number of iterations, or for the number of additions. The number of additions. I asked you to do that for assignment 7. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do copy paste, and I'm going to put this down a little bit. I'm going to change this label to say number of additions, and this is going to be some sort of integer, and the default was 10. And so I'm going to name this text box txt number of additions. All right, so, and then when we execute this, we are going to execute This, we need this. And then we also need this. I don't need the curly braces. Copy. Paste. I need int. Well, I guess I need to do that. And first, you gotta make sure it's a double, and then you gotta make sure if int try parse txt number of additions dot text out num adds. Please do this and int num adds so if do this, and the idea was you're supposed to compare it to num adds times x, or you compare it to, let's start out with result x equals 0, and then you can do for int I equals 0, I is less than num adds I plus plus, and what we do is we say result 2 equals result 2 plus x. So this adds x num adds times instead of 10. Instead of adding it 10 times, it adds num adds times. And here it multiplies, instead of multiplying it by 10, it multiplies by num adds. All right, so that finishes that. And this is form test 2. We need, where's the design for it? It's additions design. That's this one. Double click this. It's this close. All right, let's see if this. I'm just going to see if this works. So test 2, this thing pops up, and execute. Yeah, that's right. I actually got to clear that out. But if we change it to 100, it looks like that, and that was good. If we change it to 1,000, it looks like that. That's the same. 10,000. Oh, now they're different. Interesting. Exit. We can make that look. Close this. Let's just be smaller. And let's also put an event handler which does LBL output text equals nothing. All right, so anyway, that's so I got test 1 and test 2 to work. And so I'll leave test 3 for you. And this brings up the legacy, and this does the exit. And so so that should get you started. And you can read, or right now, or after you're done with this, you can switch over to yesterday's video, and it shows. There I show how to build the screens that you see in the assignment page. So are there any questions? All right, thanks for watching.